Valtteri Bottas edged out Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton to set the pace in final practice for the Japanese Grand Prix, but crashed to end his session early. The Finn clocked a 1m29.055s on soft tires to finish 0.014s clear of Hamilton, with Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel 0.3 off the pace, on supersofts in third. It was frustrating session for both Mercedes and Ferrari, with Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen crashing and Vettel the only four of the quartet to get a representative lap on supersofts. The threat of rain failed to materialise at Suzuka, allowing the field to head out on the slicks from the off and set about making up for lost running in the rain-hit second practice. Bottas set the early pace on the soft tire, a fraction ahead of Mercedes teammate Hamilton, who was running the same rubber. Red Bull's Max Verstappen was third on the soft, 1.334s adrift, with teammate Daniel Ricciardo 0.4 further back on the supersofts in fourth. The session was then red flagged when Bottas ran wide out of spoon, running onto the grass at the exit and lifting up the artificial grass. The Mercedes driver clipped the barrier a couple of times, damaging the right rear corner of the car, and though he made it back to the pits, that was the end of his session. Running got back underway just after the halfway point but lasted just 3 minutes when race control red flagged it again following Raikkonen's crash at Degner 2. Replays showed the rear of his Ferrari got away from him mid-corner and though Raikkonen reacted, he couldn't gather it up before he hit the barriers, damaging the left side of the car. The marshals quickly craned his damaged Ferrari over the barriers, allowing the session to get going again. However, several drivers, including Hamilton, had their supersoft qualifying simulations ruined by the two red flag interruptions. Vettel had focused on race simulations early in the session, before turning his attention to the supersofts and low fuel. His first effort put him third and though he improved next time around, he was still 0.324s adrift of the two Mercedes, which set their respective laps on the softs. Verstappen's supersoft tire run put him fourth, 0.855s off the pace and 1/10 clear of Ricciardo in fifth. Esteban Ocon was best of the rest in sixth, just over a second adrift of Bottas, with Nico Hülkenberg the leading Renault in seventh. Fernando Alonso, who has a 35-place grid penalty for engine component changes ahead of FP3, was eighth as Sergio Perez ended up ninth. Jolyon Palmer made it to Renaults in the top 10, but he will start Sunday's race towards the back after engine component changes handed him a 20-place grid drop. Carlos Sainz, who has also been hit by a 20-place grid penalty, was summoned to the stewards for crossing the pit lane exit line while the red light was on. The Toro Rosso driver escaped penalty, and was 13th fastest. Raikkonen ended up bottom of the time sheets, having focused on race simulations on older sets of supersofts and then crashed when he bolted a fresh set of supersofts on.